Welcome back to CryptosRus. I'm George. We're all George. So, welcome to another Market Open stream. Happy Friday. Today, let's talk about something new. Let's not talk about Bitcoin. No, I'm joking. Let's talk about Bitcoin, what's going on in the world of crypto, and Elon's new big plans for X, aka Twitter, and how it will definitely benefit us in the space. So let's talk about all these things and more. Let's do this. Welcome, welcome, welcome. The market bell. Still working, still going strong. Today, let's start out with the US market. It looking green finally. NASDAQ having a little bit of a recovery, and that's because Amazon reported pretty good earnings. I guess that helped, but man, NASDAQ has been getting absolutely hammered this week and last week and for quite a while. So the good thing is Bitcoin seems to have decoupled away from the U.S. market for now. I do think there's just a lot of flight to quality, flight to safety at this point. People are realizing Bitcoin is just a better way to protect your wealth. And, you know, that's why it has been decoupling, right? I don't know if this is permanent. I do think Bitcoin needs to get bigger in order for that to happen, to truly decouple once and for all. But right now, we're definitely seeing it. But if the markets go up, it's not going to help. It's not going to make it go, not going to make Bitcoin go in reverse. So we'll see. If today's good, this could give Bitcoin a little boost. Today, we did get some PCE inflation reading data, and it shows inflation going upwards by 0.3%. Okay, so not so good. Even though this is in line with expectations, but still heading upwards is not a direction we want to go. We want to go down. Okay, we don't want to end up having hyperinflation like one of these other countries. So I showed you guys this yesterday. Turkey's central bank, their equivalent of the Fed, raised their interest rate to 35%. 35% to curb their inflation, right? You know, I've been saying this for a while. The Fed Chair Powell has been saying we have a lot of tools in our arsenal to curb inflation. They really don't. They absolutely don't. The only weapon they have is to increase rates, okay? The Fed fund rate in this case. They really don't have any other ammunition to lower inflation. The problem is, why do you think Turkey needs to raise their rate to 35%? Because the problem is, if inflation gets out of control and there's too much printing going on, there's nothing that any central bank could do really to stop it. So hopefully we in the US do not face the same thing with our irresponsible spending and irresponsible printing. Hopefully we don't get to a case where the next Fed president or Fed chair will have to raise interest rates up to 10% or 15% or 35% like Turkey. That would be insane, right? But how it helps us, countries like Turkey and Nigeria and Argentina and everywhere else around the world that does suffer from hyperinflation, guess what? Bitcoin is surging in all of those countries because people are, again, flocking to something that could help them preserve their wealth, their buying power, because if they're holding their fiat, they just see it wash away into nothing literally every single day. Inflation is that bad in some of these countries. That is why people are flocking to Bitcoin, right? So again, a lot of us in first world nations, we don't really think it'll ever get this bad. That's what we think. All fiats eventually collapse. Not a single one since the beginning of time has gone on forever. Eventually, they all collapse due to the same reasons, due to greed, basically, of the countries, of the rulers, of the banks. They all get replaced at one time. So, you know, hopefully this doesn't happen to us in the U.S. or the UK or Canada or Australia or anywhere else, right? But again, if we keep on printing money like it's free and there are no consequences, well, this is what it's going to lead to. Okay? So, Turkey obviously very pro Bitcoin, very pro crypto. They're planning to draft a framework in 2024 because they know their citizens are turning to crypto. Why would you not, right? You got to embrace it. Give them something better. That's exactly what's happening. Other countries too. Taiwan. Taiwan is going to come out the crypto bill as well. Okay, so every country out there right now, right? See, notice this. These countries are not coming out with a bill to shut down crypto or to ban crypto. See, that's another big difference between this cycle and previous cycles. Before, we still had rumors and rumbling about countries and leaders not trusting crypto and trying to find ways to ban it altogether. That's not even in the cards now. Everyone's like, okay, this is the future. This is something that we can't ignore. And we can't shut it down even if we wanted to. So let's at least try to regulate it, right? So now it's getting to a point where no one's even trying to ban it. Everyone's trying to embrace it. So that's another key difference between now and a lot of the previous cycles, which will definitely help going forward. Okay, we need some clarity. It's good to have some clarity. And it's definitely going to help a lot of the crypto projects in the future, right? So they're not operating under suspicion or this cloud of doubt or this gray area that no one knows if they're in the right or wrong, right? Some clarity is good. Of course, too much regulations is bad, but I don't think that's going to be the case. So we'll see. Google Trends also showing that buy Bitcoin surges are surging globally. That's not a surprise, right? Whenever there's enthusiasm, when Bitcoin goes up, everyone FOMOs in, everyone starts searching for it. It's a pretty good indicator. It's a pretty good indicator of retail interest, right? It's coming up, but it's still very low. This is nowhere close to peak FOMO. Peak FOMO, some of you guys have lived through it, some of you guys have not. But those of us that have lived through it, you know that peak FOMO is unlike anything you have ever seen. You wake up and you check your phone and your portfolio is up by like 25%. And the thing is, it's like every single day you wake up and you see it's up by 25%. That, my friends, is coming, and that is peak FOMO season. You'll literally have like a week or several weeks of that where you're just seeing your portfolio go up to staggering heights that you never imagined, right? But we're not there yet. We're not there yet. And when we are there, Google Trends for everything like Bitcoin and Ethereum and SHIB is like all skyrocketing upwards, right? FOMO is real. It definitely is real, and it's going to come around. But right now we're building up to that, okay? We're building up to that. Bitcoin and Ethereum options activity soared to historic heights. Okay, again, FOMO doesn't just apply to retail investors. It applies to everyone, including Wall Street traders, Wall Street fund managers. You're talking about some of the biggest whales out there. You know, they feel the FOMO hype too. They can't ignore it. They're humans. So, you know, whenever things start going upwards, they start putting their bets in. So options and futures, I'm sure both are skyrocketing right now. This is already saying historic highs for options, but CME futures, CBOE futures, I'm sure it's not at all-time high, but is climbing, right? Again, this cycle will be very different than previous cycles because we have true institutional interest and FOMO that will be coming in, unlike before. In 2021, you could argue, yeah, maybe some institutions came in, like MicroStrategy, But still, MicroStrategy is a small fish in the sea of institutions out there. So we had a little bit of a taste with like MicroStrategy, Mass Mutual, some of these guys entering in 2021. But man, in 2024 and 2025, we're talking about some of the biggest companies on the planet, okay? The likes of like BlackRock and Vanguard and Fidelity. These guys hold trillions of assets. We're talking about some of the biggest companies on the planet now ready to FOMO in. There's a big difference there. So this time around, the FOMO will be unlike anything we have ever seen from the retail side, from the institutional side. We're just going to be hit with onslaughts of liquidity everywhere. All right. What else is there? Bitcoin's a liquid supply. You know, I always talk about the fundamentals, how much Bitcoin is being held. Just look at this. The liquid supply, man, it just keeps going up and up and up and up and up. What is illiquid versus liquid supply? Liquid supply are basically Bitcoins that's available to be traded, okay? Illiquid supply, basically the number of Bitcoins that are not available to be traded. They're off the exchanges. They're held somewhere, right? And that number just keeps going upwards and onwards. So again, what affects price? Supply and demand. Demand is going upwards. Right now, demand's like this, okay? But when that FOMO season hits, I just got done talking about, it's going to like start doing this. Like literally at the end, FOMO will be like this, just straight up to the moon and to Mars. And demand, supply is like literally doing this. And when FOMO goes upwards like this, supply is probably going to go down. It's going to just like fall off a cliff. That's exactly what's happening already. Less and less Bitcoins are available on the exchanges, available for buying, and more people are simply holding and DCAing. You know, that's just what it comes down to. Supply and demand. If you ignore everything else, if you ignore the 4-year cycle, you ignore the macro conditions, you ignore BlackRock, you ignore everything, just concentrate on supply and demand. We're seeing supply diminish and demand increase. It just comes down to that. It's so simple if you think about it. So that is why 2024 could be absolutely outstanding and 2025 even better. Matrix reports that they predict Bitcoin will go to 125,000 by the end of 2024. That's not a wild prediction. That really isn't. A lot of people think that 125,000 is just unreasonable. There's just no way we could get up to 6 digits. That's just impossible. Right? Well, our previous high was 70,000. Do you honestly think if we actually hit 70,000 again, we're just going to stop there and not going to go any higher? No. Of course, once we hit that 70,000, what's going to come after that? 80, 90, 100. Then 125 will be right around the corner. Keep in mind everything I just said about FOMO. And then you have catalysts. I'm getting to this big catalyst from Elon as well. But then you got spot Bitcoin ETFs. You have SEC losing all these cases. And you have the halving event all coming up next year. And the Fed is going to start cutting rates. And there's a presidential election. So next year, 2024, is going to be wild. Wild. Beyond our imagination. As much as I'm hyping it now, I think once we get going in 2024, it's going to blow people's minds. So 125, I think, is a really good prediction. I think we will break through our previous high in 2024. And once we do that, that's when the floodgates really open. And who knows? And, that's the thing. These 4-year cycles, the year of the halving event is not the bullish year. It's the year after that. So next year is the halving event. So the year after that is 2025. So if we're going according to plan, according to what has happened before, we will top out at the end of 2025. So imagine we end 2024 at 125. Where will Bitcoin be by the end of 2025? We have a full year from 2024 starting at 125. Where will we end up by the end of 2025? I mean, again, I'm getting excited just even talking about it. If you guys think about this, and where will everything else be at 125, right? How high will Ethereum be by then? 15,000, 20,000? What about Solana at 5,000 or 10,000? You know, man, it's going to get wild. Really, really wild. Okay, so this is what the 4-year cycle looks like. So right now we're really mimicking 2016. 2020, 2021 was a little bit weird for many reasons. We had the COVID crash, and also we had this big dip from 64 down to 28 down to 69. I think that's due to FTX. So like this last cycle, we had some weirdness going on. But if we went to the previous cycle, we're following it like to the T right now. Okay, it looks very, very similar. We have just entered phase 3. Phase 3 is pretty good. It's going to carry us into 2024. And then this is going to carry us much higher into 2025. Right? Crypto Hound, thank you for that. Big, big super chat. All right. Here's another one. We're breaking above. We're breaking above this wedge, right? And you can see it all previous times. Whenever we break through like a wedge that takes months to break, good things happen, right? So that's what we're saying. So that's it for Bitcoin. But, you know, I just got done talking about it. Bitcoin's going up to 125 by the end of 2024. Everything else is going to follow, right? We're not going to see a full-blown altcoin season, but we can see everything carry upwards. That's what a lot of analysts are predicting. These days, a lot of people are saying, well, mini altcoin season's going to come, whatever. That, you know, I don't think it's a mini altcoin season, but everything gets carried by Bitcoin. Everything gets carried upwards. That's how it's always been, right? But will they outperform Bitcoin? No. That's why Bitcoin dominance keeps going up. But that doesn't mean that Bitcoin hits 125,000 and Ethereum stays at 1,800. No. No. Ethereum will be at like 5,000, 6,000 by then. You know, Solana, I would not be surprised if it was at like 300 by then. You know, a full 10x, and everything else will be just as high. And that's not even including what true altcoin season will bring. True altcoin season will bring a lot of these much further and much higher than the previous high. And we'll get a lot of these micro caps and small caps, the ones that you guys may be speculating on. They will do 100x. Some will do 1,000x. Every single cycle, we see a few of these actually do like 1,000x and become like a top 20 project. That's exactly Crypto Hound. Thank you again. That's exactly what happened to Solana. Solana was nothing. It was less than nothing. It was in the pennies in 2021. And now look at it. It's at number 7 with a 13 billion market cap. In the prior cycle before that, same thing, BNB and Cardano and Tron, they were less than nothing, and they're in the top 10. So I'm saying every single cycle, you have someone do like 1,000x and become a new powerhouse. And it's going to be no different this time around. But it's too early to speculate right now. Like in 2024, when it's clear that we're getting into that FOMO season, right? That's when we start speculating, because that's the smart time to do it. But I'm saying this time around, you know, we kind of had it with Pepe, but Pepe is only the beginning. Pepe was an anomaly because it did pump, you know, not during like altcoin season. But we're going to get another Pepe. We're going to get something else that will outperform even Pepe, go from pennies to hundreds of dollars by the end of the cycle. That's how amazing each one of these cycles are. It's really like, people will say it's like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It is and it isn't. Obviously, once something pumps up to tens of billions, you can't make the same kind of gains from it. But there's always another one that could do the same thing right around the corner. And that's what's so exciting. That's why we're in it right now, because it's so early. In another 20 years or 30 years, it's probably not going to be like that anymore. So that's why we got to take advantage of right now. Okay. Man, I got carried away. Whew. I should do a TED Talk. What I just said today should be put in a TED Talk, okay? I mean, I dropped some good truth bombs today, or just bombs in general. I don't know if they're truth, but I just gave out some good stuff. Anyways, okay. So moving on, last few points. I'm talking a little bit longer today than normal. 72.5% of video game companies have ventured into Web3. One of the arguments I made, and I said this yesterday, talking to Noah and Moby Media. You know, right now we don't really see any change really decouple away from Bitcoin, right? Why is that? Because we don't have a killer dApp or a killer game that has millions of users playing it, okay? But one day we will. One day we'll have, like, I don't know, Diablo 5. That's going to be on top of, I don't know, Avalanche, for example, or Solana. And you have millions of players playing it. Yeah, then that chain that resides on and that token would explode. But right now we don't. We have a lot of mini games. We have a little adoption with crypto games. Very little, right? But one day that's going to change. It could be in 2025. Maybe, if not, maybe by 2030, right? I know there's a lot of Web3 developers right now that are programming some awesome games. And SocialFi, right? We don't have that killer dApp yet. But once we do, that's when the landscape changes. That's when these chains will truly decouple from Bitcoin. And one day they may even become bigger than even Bitcoin. Right now, it's like everyone's kind of moving in tandem. There's a little bit of movement, you know, difference between them because of their roadmap and upcoming releases. But like in the future, if you have a game that's pulling in like 1 million users per month, that's going to change things. It just hasn't happened yet. Again, another reason why it's so early. As big as these chains seem to be, they're nothing. They're nothing yet. Just wait next 10 years what it's going to be like. All these game manufacturers will be in Web 3. Well, by then it's probably called Web 4. And I don't know what that means. Maybe we're all wearing virtual headsets, or we're just like seeing the games directly in our brains somehow, right? That's probably going to happen. All right, Solana. Let's talk about Solana real quick. Meteoric rise in 2021 about to repeat. Inflow skyrocket past 100 million. 100 million. That's barely nothing. But that's in a week, okay? Solana is coming back full force. It's trying to get past this FTX FUD. And even FTX, whatever they have, they're staking it. So it does seem like they're not dumping their Solana. So Solana is doing well, and I bet a lot of game manufacturers are looking at Solana as long as they don't have any more outages, right? But it seems like all of 2023, they didn't have a single one, so that's pretty good. But wait until the volume goes up, and let's see. And if it still holds, then maybe they have gone past that stage, which is really good, okay? Because they need to get ready. Now they're launching this Web3 incubator program. There will be a lot of game makers. There'll be a lot of dApps coming aboard. And that's what we need in this space. We need more usable dApps that people actually use on a daily basis, not just for trading. Right now, the only dApps we have are for trading or staking and bridging and swapping, but they're all literally just DeFi stuff. We don't really have any useful dApps that's outside. We have very few, little bit, right? But we need those killer dApps to really come aboard. Now, finally, getting to my point, okay, of Elon and X and Twitter Well, this could be a huge catalyst for Bitcoin and crypto, for Doge, for the entire space. So Elon just conducted an interview where he's talking about making X a financial app by 2024. And he's talking about it like this will replace everything. Everything. He's talking about fiat, he's talking about securities, and even crypto. Basically, he wants to make X the sole app for all things financial, right? So you know for sure that this will include cryptocurrencies. You know that it's been hyped up for a long time, right? Is Doge going to get integrated? Yes. Is Bitcoin going to get integrated? Yes. Ethereum? Yes. Right? So he believes that PayPal actually went backwards. That he and David Sachs had this grand vision for PayPal, but they went backwards ever since they got acquired by eBay. Now he's going to fulfill that vision and make X even better than PayPal, and people won't even need a bank account anymore after they sign up. That's what he's trying to do, right? Will he do it? I don't know. I'm hoping so. But what I'm more interested in is the crypto aspect, and there's no doubt in my mind that he's building that in. He's going to build it in. Maybe X will copy Strike and utilize the Lightning Network for instant transfers. And I'm sure a crypto wallet and a swap will probably be built in as well. He's been talking to a lot of people over the years, right? So this is also coming. If this gets announced in 2024, along with everything else I just mentioned, it's going to get wild, okay? 2024 is going to be an insane year. You have this, you have SEC losing, you have the halving event, you had rate cuts, you have spot Bitcoin ETF. You could have, I didn't even mention, you could have Ethereum spot ETFs too. Those applications are pending as well. I think we got a presidential election, and we're probably going to get more inflation around the world, and that turns people to Bitcoin and crypto. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on and on. 2024 is going to be so good, in my opinion. Man, I can't wait. I can't wait. All right. Man, I went really long today. Again, today was like a TED Talk. Let's do some Q&A. I missed a super chat from Citizen Crypto, a huge super chat. Altcoin season will surprise many people. This is the excitement of going from speculative investigation to surprising reality. Who's going to rise to the top? Right now, we need to investigate many and back a few. I don't disagree, but I do think it's too early to call altcoin season. I think too many people get excited about altcoin season too quickly. I did talk about this. I think 2025 will be a much better year for altcoins. But right now, it's still good to DCA and start researching the ones that you like, right? Maybe go a little bit into them, but don't go too heavy just yet, because Bitcoin is still going to lead the way. That's why Bitcoin dominance is still climbing upwards. David, if this thing happens with Elon, where do you think Doge will go in 2024? Well, Doge has to go up 10x to get back to its previous high, right? 70 cents. I remember it topped out at 70 cents. So it could hit that 70 cents really quickly. Let's just say that. If Doge is one of the main crypto that will be used in Elon's new financial app in X, yeah, it'll get back to 70 cents in no time. And then afterwards, who knows? Then 2025, it could carry it to a couple dollars. Maybe Doge hits $5. Maybe it hits $7 by the end of 2025. we're talking about, that's a lot of X's right there. That's a lot of X's. Man, today, happy Friday, surprised me. We almost hit, I think we did hit 4,000 people not too long ago. But happy Friday. Man, I'm just so excited about the future. I know you guys know that. I know you guys are too, right? This is why I've been saying for so long, you know, to focus on the future. During the bad times, it always seems bad. It always seems scary, right? But we always get through it, and then no one remembers the scary times anymore, except me, because I cover things every single day, and I've lived through a lot of these, right? And you know, everyone's gonna get rewarded in the future. I don't think Doge will be replaced. Elon's not gonna bring out his own coin. That's too much work, because then he already hates the SEC. If he comes out with his own coin for X, then the SEC will go after him even more. I don't think he wants that attention. He just wants to build out this new financial app. Okay. I don't think he's gonna come out. For the same reasons why Coinbase won't come out their own coin, because they don't want that scrutiny from the SEC. Alan's like, OMG, my FOMO meter just jumped by 20% watch your stream. That's what I do. That's what I do. I think the full moon is it today or tomorrow? Yesterday someone was saying it's going to be on Saturday. So we'll see. We'll see if the full moon helps push Bitcoin upwards. Peter, Doge at $7 would be a market cap 1 trillion. Yeah, I know. It's 100x from here. 100x. I don't know if that can happen. I was just, you know, a little too excited. But hey, if it could hit 70 cents again and break $1, you know, $2, $3, that's not unreasonable. And if it hits $3, then $7 not unreasonable, right? Remember, the market cap in crypto, all the market caps are very vastly inflated, right? So it seems like a trillion Doge seems so stupid, right? But we know it's all inflated already. But you know, by then Bitcoin, be like, yeah, I don't know where Bitcoin will be. I mean, in 2025, it really hits 250,000. Man, all these alts will fly to the moon. My hero says, man, George always knows how to get me all hot and bothered. Do you think sports cards will make a comeback in 2024 since they crashed so hard, even harder than crypto? I like to think so, yeah. But you know, yeah, I think it will. I think it will, but there's different circumstances with sports cards. For example, I heard Panini, they're losing their rights to Fanatics. So I don't know what Fanatics are going to do. Maybe they're going to go hard into NFTs, but Panini like kind of ruined the market by overprinting, right? People got sick of all the boxes and raised prices, and so they kind of diluted the market almost on purpose because they knew they were going to lose their rights for like basketball, for example. And I think everyone lost. Topps lost baseball to Fanatics, and Panini also lost football to Fanatics. I think Fanatics go have a monopoly over all cards. So it's a little bit different with sports cards because of the dilution, I guess. Marco, Sandbox, I'm not crazy about it. If I had to pick a metaverse play, it would be Sandbox, but I'm not horribly excited about it. Do you think play to earn games could be viable again? Yeah, of course. I mean, even though they all crashed, but they're still around. Axie is still relatively big. So they'll come back again. I think it's a lesson, right? A lot of those game makers are now redoing their token economy to make sure that the same type of things won't happen again. Basically, like Axie and all the others, they created a structure where their tokens were just too inflationary, and people only played to earn, and then they would dump it on the market. So they all dumped to hell, right? So now they're all thinking about how to change that. So it was like a learning lesson, I guess, for all of them, and a really good case study for future play to earn projects. Teresa, I always appreciate your support. Member for over 2 years. 2 years. That's a long time. Thank you. Can you give me a positive reason to hold Litecoin? Jose, I know you're trying to trick me up, trying to make me say something good about Litecoin. No, I cannot. Why is Aurora pumping hard? Any news? No, it's not relevant. Okay. Just know that right now, because of the enthusiasm, and there's like little random pumps here and there, just because something pumps mysteriously does not make it good. Sometimes, yes, they have good reasons. Other times they're simply a pump. Okay, and then they dump right back down. I just saw this with Mina, I think, the other day. It pumped up 100%, and then it went down like 50% afterwards. So you don't want to fall for those traps, okay? So if you don't know what Aurora is or why it pumped, then you shouldn't get into it, because it's probably just going to come back down. Paul, I appreciate it. Sean, you missed a lot, man. I gave like 2 TED Talks during my stream today. Like, literally, I'm going to cut those up, and I'm going to make them TED Talks. I'm going to send it to Ted, whoever he is, and say, here, play this for your followers, or viewers, I should say. Minnie and Peanut, I know you're one of my OG fans if you still remember Dentacoin. I used to pick on Dentacoin, I don't know, 2018, 2019, 2020, I forgot, one of those years. I would always read, because Dentacoin was pumping, and I would read through their blog, and they would say, oh, we added like 10 users or something this week. And I'm like, 10 users? Explains, like a 100 million market cap coin for dentists. It doesn't really add up, right? Yeah. So you must be an OG. Jolamas. Maddox seems to have been disproportionately beaten up from the SEC news about Coinbase when they said they were security. Now that we're past that idea why they're so slow. I think people are confused by Polygon 2. I am too. I don't, you know, Polygon 2, it's like they have like two different chains right now. They have their ZK chain and then their regular proof of stake chain. And Polygon 2 is like a layer above that controls both. And I think they may be even coming up with a third chain. And right now, there's just a lot of moving parts and people don't quite understand it. Pol is going to be the new token for all of these. And there, at some point, there'll be a conversion from Matic to Pol, which hasn't been announced yet. So I think that's the reason why. And plus, other layer 2s like Arbitrum and Optimism and Base have stolen a lot of momentum from Polygon. They're easier to use and develop on because they basically use ETH. Polygon still has their own token. And because of that, I think they lost out. They lost some momentum. So I think those are the reasons. Armin asks, is it okay if I put a picture of you hanging in my bedroom? Well, that sounds a little sus, if you ask me. That's how the young kids would say it. But I can't stop you. And I'm CT. I haven't seen this many super chats in the last bull market. Is this a bullish? This is a bullish signal. Yes, it is. People are just excited. People are very excited, and that's good because people are, you know, have been holding for a long time. So, of course, we want that excitement, right? We got it this week. Bitcoin is at 34,000. We went from 26.6, 26.7, all the way up to 34,000, right? So this is this has been a really good week, okay? We still have like a half week to go until Tuesday. So October is not over yet. And then November, December will probably slowly trick upwards too. Before I said I'd be very happy if we end the year between 35 and 40,000. I still think that's the case. I think we could trend up to 40,000, but if we get like a spot Bitcoin ETF approval, we'll be much higher. We might end the year in 50,000. It's so funny that the kids just invented new words. You know, no one says, "Oh, that's cool" anymore. You know, cool became sick, and even sick is outdated. Now everyone just says that's fire. You know, it's so weird, the evolution of all these like words. So now everyone just says that's fire, right? And then or drip, you know, that's drip. Like, what the fuck is drip? I know what it means, but like, you know, all these like new words to describe things. Yeah, if someone's lying, you say that's cap. You know, they're capping, not like they're lying. Like it's too not cool to say lying. And you say sus instead of saying suspect, I guess, right? Like, you know, it's like these kids. I hear my kids talk about all the time. It's like so weird, or lit, you know. Alan, yes. My kids went through that phase. They kept saying bra after everything. And I told them, you stop. I was going to take their game time away. And finally, they corrected themselves. They got out of that phase. But they were saying bra after everything. And it pissed me and my wife off. So, yeah, we put a stop to that, luckily. All right, let's end this lit session. Okay. Overall, guys, I'm so excited about what's coming, and there's so much coming. It's going to get wild. 2024 is going to be insane. It's going to be fire, and that's what we have to look forward to. That's it. I don't know how else to say it. All right, guys. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one, guys. Take care.